do I sound? I got one in my mouth now.
Oh, okay. Like the Mucinex ones or something with sore throat and then.
Yeah, I have the ones for sore throat with honey.
Okay, I guess I got a whole bunch of them downstairs.
Look, it started yesterday. I grabbed a bottle of Zycam
Yeah, I'll find you.
and started.
Wait a year till then.
Zycam always helps me cut it short. Hey.
No, I'm done tomorrow. Okay, okay.
We'll meet again.
What's up?
We'll be discussing today.
Huh?
I said, we can't have more papers.
Look how I brought mine.
This is to you.
Huh?
Oh,
Oh yeah. But look how I brought mine. I'm not bringing mine back.
I figured. I just went to Bob's. I don't know what else to do.
I'm a bad lady.
You say you're a bad lady.
I am. I buy these things all the time. The shop right like the new black is free.
They're not here yet.
Okay, well.
I said, Tim, from downstairs, your food ran out already.
Okay. This is a better picture than before.
Yes.
They look like they didn't, and I told them there's a bathroom windows in the back, and I just went in my house door where it used to. Then being at their property line in the back part. Yes, that's safe.
Did you go see it?
What was yours?
On the booth?
Oh, I had passed there before.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Guess what?
He showed up.
And they have an access easement.
Going up right now. I said, oh, I said, you're right back upstairs.
Okay, thank you.
Because she said that she couldn't get out. I said, public works down there.
You got the sugar? I'm the sugar.
Oh, you don't need that. You know, that is already sugar and everything.
Okay.
It is, that's what I use for singing.
Okay,
It's really
where do
good.
you get this?
You open it up,
I said, where do you get it?
I get it from cousins,
Oh,
market here, but, yep.
I've never seen it, and I think I had one every time I take there,
8-foot grass strip.
and I get it.
What she said when she gets in.
Oh, somebody I was mentioning, I started mentioning about that lady,
So he has
and
to
they
provide
all
access to the property
same
owners
conversation,
upon notice.
and they wanna try to.
Trying to balance the property owners.
Who?
Remember the lady that spoke so well?
Oh, yes, yes,
I told her, I said, you really need to do something about that lady.
yes.
And then they started smiling.
On the property line, so they're
Yeah, I underlined it, but
built.
they were thinking the
No,
same
that's-
thing.
that's-
So
yeah.
she must have impressed everybody.
Yeah, so yeah, put it, you put the whole thing in.
I wasn't supposed to.
No, I like do it to taste, so it's gonna be strong, but it's good. It's good for you though. It's that ginger, when they hit you, girls,
It'll
amazing.
be a man game.
They're literally open right after before I go sing.
Was at my house and I was filming it. She went and got her fresh ginger, sliced it up, ground it up, and gave me a cup of ginger tea. I took one sip of that stuff. It was just pure ginger
I
tea.
understand. Get this, you'll see it. Wait till you try it. You know,
Okay.
I meant to tell you.
I will. I'll go to Cousins.
It's the
Okay.
very first aisle, closer to the refrigerator side. They're right on the very top shelf. They got different flavors, mint, honey ginger, all different kinds.
I don't shop for food that often because I don't want to cook. I cooked all my life.
Somebody just reminded me.
I love it.
Look, wait, you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna be just like me. Cause I did all that
I won't,
cooking.
I think I'll die cooking. I love doing that. A lot of food like that.
I
Like I
cook-
miss my call to having a restaurant.
That's why. Well, everybody in my family can cook. I just put it like that.
There's two I see.
Everybody. Because my mother was.
So which is that is A and we put today's date. First two. Okay.
Oh, so which one is that we don't pull out?
It was the reverse subdivision.
Yeah, but they,
That was-
look, as you start reading, everything starts looking the same.
You know.
Daddy on his side. Right.
So, right, whenever you get a chance, so I can borrow you to sign in.
Alright, so it's not, I know it's not this one.
Show me, and then I get a better understanding. Okay, and then
You
when I
have to, fix a gutter or whatever, you just call him and get it.
but there's like some space in between that and that.
Yeah.
They'll store equipment.
And the car is parked on another.
Here, here.
Okay, let me see.
This is
Let me see.
We already knew you lived there, girl, you know.
When you don't sleep and you think about first. Because our bathroom windows are there, what happens when you're not on the day? I have to be out.
You can't, we got 8 feet, yeah, we got you, we made sure.
Right, because I'm like, wait a minute. No, I don't.
Right, right.
But ain't gonna be nobody.
No, ma'am, I agree.
But I just wanted to.
Are you gonna stay?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my question.
Yeah, no, you fine. You know that. You can sign in for me.
Thank you for your vision. Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
So is this the one you're talking about, a no?
Pardon me?
Is this the no?
Is that one I'm sorry?
Is this the no?
Yeah, that's on today.
Okay.
Yep, that's dialogue.
I don't wanna look at numbers, just tell me.
Yes, that's on.
Yeah, so 742 is not gonna come in. 611 should have been,
That's on.
wasn't that your first one?
Those are the only three.
So this, so the only thing left is this.
Yeah, and that small one's off. So
Yeah.
those two are off.
Okay.
Yep. But that's just,
Well, I saw that box is open up.
I
that box.
know. Oh, good morning, good afternoon, my apologies. You all right, Miss Shirley? Oh, can you get by? Do you need anything for this one? I need your water, but you, everybody like that.
Hey,
I bring water too.
look,
Ron, right? Aaron. Good to see you.
I don't bite. So, yeah, we were telling them the first.
Oh, yeah. Good seeing you.
And 742, 611 is 19, 7, and then 742, both of those, they can come out.
that's the booth.
Did you guys get a sign in?
Get downstairs.
It's the Curlin Street. So I'm good with first. It's still big.
Showing off. All right, let me think. All I gotta do. I got their address and everything. You wanna, I wrote it down. It's so funny, cause we're all on the same, we both on the same page. To, ask them if they were interested. The Wagners, I wrote all the information in your addresses down to, for later, to see what you thought about, knocking and talking to them. Or send them a letter.
That's,
You know, you think,
no.
you have their phone number? I would say, I don't have their phone, but maybe in the sign-in sheet, they might put it.
Getting stuff ready for my, African American history program at church. When I roll back.
Well, they sign an application, and then, let me fill out an application, and then once they do that,
I wanna roll. Too much. Yeah.
I don't care, either one, listen. I appreciate it. Hey,
My sister-in-law called me because we closed the after-school store there. They live in Westchester.
make sure that you. So, she's gonna make moves and change your agenda.
To be a part.
We don't, we're not going in order. We're not going in order.
Since I don't see Harry, I'm gonna spread my stuff out. Oh, really?
Yeah, we're gonna go in order, but I'm just saying that. You want me to say what they're? Huh? Right there, it's on, I'm sorry, it's on the stand, on the podium, I'm gonna put it back to the front. So.
Where's my girl?
Preliminary final plan. First two. They've been released.
And I didn't know that until she showed me the picture.
What's going on, Paul?
Apparently, they don't.
Yeah, you'll actually be get it. it happened like, yeah, it was amazing.
That's what scares me, living alone.
No, the Super Bowl was enough. Super Bowl was enough. Bourbon Street and all of that, it was a lot going on, yeah. Yeah, I went to the Super Bowl, yeah. Yeah, we were right behind the goal line, first section.
This is open my tremendous. I can feel it. If it wasn't for that gigantic.
Anniversary, birthday, I just gotta shut up for the whole year, I can't complain about nothing for the whole year. At least 2025, I can't say a word.
First thing in the morning, and the first thing she was a grand design.
Expensive, but it was amazing. It was worth when he got done, he was like, I'm not getting nothing about the money. It was worth every penny. It was. It's amazing. So I'm gonna tell you something. I had it on my phone. If they showed anything red, if I couldn't hear the person next to me from me, and I'm especially if I did
It's only gonna last a certain amount of time. Oh, yeah, I just found something, got it. My sister-in-law ordered some like.
It was amazing. We were one family. There wasn't black, white, Spanish. We were one family. Everyone was like, go bird, everywhere we went. Go bird, high five. It's amazing.
They must get it. Just did.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, you were at the game, inside, oh, you were in the stadium, oh, wow. That must have been amazing. Wow. Yeah, I'm curious, yeah, it must have been nuts, it must have been like unbelievable. Oh, yeah, you can hear it. Wow. We definitely had home field. Wow. Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you been? Good seeing you.
It's good.
Hey, good seeing you again. Yeah. How you doing?
Life is good, huh?
Oh, good, yeah. What's that?
How's the children?
Oh, the kids are good, yeah. Big. 7, 6. Oh, yes.
That was the name that I saw.
You have a
Yeah,
pen?
yeah.
I'm representing the front row.
7. Oh.
Yeah, I know, we're getting big. Yeah, it's cool.
Tell them to,
Late or regular?
Yeah.
Late or regular? Late school or regular?
Regular, got it regular. The roads weren't that bad.
No, the roads aren't bad.
Some schools canceled.
Yeah,
It
I
melted
understand
right
that.
away.
Yeah, it kept coming. And it's warm, so it's gonna rain tomorrow wash it all the way. You don't have to, you
It's
don't have
probably
to
those
dig it
people
up.
that have a lot of
Going out there and shoveling.
a lot of responsibility. With these bus crashing, I don't blame us, yeah.
I told Kim I wasn't coming.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Doug.
Then that was a nice surprise.
Get some road ties. I'll have that after.
You gonna Uber her?
We'll knock.
You know my
No, it just makes it easier, because then you see,
I don't mess around.
I know how it works.
And Mike, at some point, though,
Any questions you have, let me know.
Not a crow.
Oh, the camera project. I know all about it. So did we ever did the city ever draw down money for reimbursement? It would have been for these.
204.
We got a grant for these, and I did get an extension on it. The extension probably carried into June of this year.
I'm not there yet.
So
Kim, you have your,
we should be able to get
tape
that money.
We don't take, it's recorded. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Zyla. How you doing, man? Look at where you. How you been? Hey, how you doing?
Ready? Sure.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to call to order the Chester City Planning Commission meeting for February the 12th, 2025. It is now 2:05. Can we get a roll call, please?
Susan Dennis,
Present.
Leola Williams,
Here,
Eartha Banks,
Present.
Shirlene Laws.
Present. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? And if so, please come forward and state your name and address. Seeing none, we are ready to approve the minutes, meeting minutes from January the 8th, 2025. Can I get a motion?
Madam Chairman, I move that the minutes from that meeting be approved with any necessary corrections.
Can I get a second? A second. Okay. All those,
Can- Did you hear me?
The video
Second.
did.
okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We can move on to new business, and for that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Gardner.
I just wanted to make note that the very two items that are on the agenda for new business, item A and item B, they have been removed from the agenda. We are going to begin with item C, a preliminary and final subdivision and land development plan on its first review. The plan is titled 3308 West 2nd Street, and it's located at 3308 West 2nd Street in the Light Industrial Commercial Zoning District. The applicant is Rowe Properties, LLC. They are proposing the consolidation of 3 lots into 1 lot, partial demolition of a 2-story building and 1 existing 1-story building, and the construction of a new, larger 7,550 square foot building over these existing structures and site improvements.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Like we've been doing in the past, I'll introduce the project from the zoning department's perspective. Then we'll have the applicant come up, do a presentation, and then we'll follow that with the city engineer's comments and
Fine.
observations. I'm not going to go through all the details in the letter that we provided to you, but I did want to point out that One things we're adding to the letters now is the relationship for each project to the comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plan, of course, is the city's guide on their long-term vision. We thought it would be useful to have some context for each project as it relates to the comprehensive plan. So that's one item that's been added. And I'll just read what was pertinent to this project in some aspects, that the site is in the West End Priority Development Strategy area. There are a number of recommended improvements for this area, but one of them that relates to this project area a little bit is the recommended improvements in this area include blight removal and home repair assistance, which is not applicable to this necessarily. And I'm just going to point out a couple things from the letter that I've highlighted here. One is that the use that's proposed here at 3308 West 2nd Street is permitted by right. And I'd also want to point out that this project, related to our dimensional standards, is a corner lot project, so that means it has multiple front yards in the dimensional requirements. And the applicant can talk to some of the comments that we have provided here about that scenario. You'll note that related to some of the dimensional requirements that we asked the applicant provide the exact building height, so we know it does meet the zoning requirements. And then jumping down to comment number 7 that was in the letter, we did note that the requirement for separation between a driveway and a parking lot is not complied with the required 8-foot wide planting strip. And again, we'll let the applicant respond to that. That's also repeated in comment number 10, which relates to the same scenario between the parking area and Clayton Street, which is on the east side of the site. And then just 2 more items. The last observation related to the zoning ordinance, we made a comment about street trees along West 2nd Street, and just noting that they were not shown on the plans as proposed. That's the showing where street trees would go. And then under general comments, which is section D, at the very end of the letter, I wanted to point out something else that is really a standard comment that we're going to be adding to many of our larger projects, and I would consider this pretty large as far as the roof coverage, is that there's opportunities when we have larger roofs, whether it's residential or non-residential, for a number of treatments that in our minds are adhering to the comprehensive plan of having sustainable goals. And that would be having green roofs, which can be used with vegetation on roofs for stormwater management and cooling effects. White roofs, which were really for cooling effects that's reflecting the sun's rays. And then if there's opportunities, especially on flat roofs, if there's opportunities for solar energy systems. It's not always the case that these projects can adhere to that recommendation, but we wanted to point it out and make sure that you're aware that we'll make those recommendations going forward. Before I hand it over to the applicant, I just wanted to know if you have any questions about the letter that I provided to you earlier.
Anybody have any questions? No.
Okay.
It's unclear to me. I must have missed something. What is this property going to produce, or what service does it produce?
Well, I'll let the applicant explain exactly what they're doing, but our understanding was a manufacturer of metal products, which is allowed in the LIC district, which is where this project is located. But I will let the applicant explain that further, what exactly goes on in that facility.
Okay.
All right, so at this time, I'll
Thank
let the
you.
applicant come up. All right,
All right.
thank you. Yep.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Galante. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'm the owner of MG Engineering Associates, and I'm here representing Brett Rowe from Rowe Fabricators, who is the owner of the property. So the reason we're here today is to construct a 7,550 square foot, essentially a building addition, but Brett does things somewhat unique. So he's actually going to take his existing structure. He's going to put a new building on top and then demo from within. Brett, being a metal fabricator, has many different ways of completing projects, many unique ways. And I'm going to have him come up and talk about some of the things that he does and he's currently doing in the building, and how this improvement is going to help benefit an existing viable business in the city of Chester. So I want to start off first by talking about the property. The property is in the LIC, Light Industrial Commercial District. To the north, if north being top of the page, if you're looking at the plan, there's residential properties. To the east, being to the right side of the plan, you have commercial. 291 2nd Street, US 13, whatever we're calling it now, that road is directly fronts on that road, but primarily the access occurs off of Clayton Street. To the west, you actually have Traynor Borough, and then some vacant / residential properties. So that's your essentially existing conditions. The site is primarily impervious surface. So when you're looking at the photo that I have here, which is a photo that was prepared by Brett Rowe, which shows the site in its current condition today, you'll see that along the frontage of 291, you have two driveways. You have a driveway that provides access to a smaller garage, and then you have a loading dock that's kind of in the center of the property. And then, I don't have a picture on the east side, but the eastern side of the property is just building, and then the parking area to the north, which currently exists as a parking area. You can see that on the top of the page. I'd like to talk a little bit about the proposed improvements. So I'm going to take my plan. Perfect. All right, beat me to it. So I want to talk about the proposed improvements. So on the western side of the site, there's a 7,000, as I stated previously, a 7,550 square foot new building, which is going to go over the existing building. It's going to have 4 piers on each side, and then Brett's going to build it up. And Brett's going to talk a little bit about that as I bring him into the conversation. Along West 2nd Street, we are proposing new sidewalk. We're going to remove all that asphalt pavement, all that impervious surface, and create green space. Reconstruct the driveways and the loading docks, which are currently in use. To the north of the property, we're going to reconfigure the parking area so that we have an ADA parking stall, along with some sidewalk and driveway improvements. And what I'd like to do now, that's essentially the proposed improvements, I'd like to do is have Brett just jump in real quick and talk about how they currently use the building, what changes are going to happen post-construction. So basically, there's not going to be any new employees. He's basically going to construct this new building. It's going to provide a more fabrication space to support the existing business. So Brett, do you want to step in and talk about your business?
Sure. So thank you. My name's Brett Rowe. We've been in this building since 1999. I employ 50 people in the city. We've been good partners with the city. We've outgrown the space. If you look at the pictures, the larger part of the building is jam-packed. The smaller areas there to the left that we're proposing enveloping and building, we really need that to, continue operations. The current layout, which has been there since the early 50s when that building was built, is just not conducive in workflow and how, what we need to grow. There's a rendering of existing and then proposed. So Mike mentioned that we're keeping the same envelope of the loading dock and the 2 smaller buildings. We're just surrounding that and going up to 28 feet in height to the top of the building. The existing is 26 of the existing building to the north. It's just like I said, we've outgrown it. We're on top of each other. We're, hoping to get approval to make these improvements to have the building work for us for what we need. By the way, we're a custom manufacturer of signage and graphics. So we produce graphics for all the museums, a lot of retail, everything at the Union Stadium, And we're a national company, so.
Just to come back in, I wanted to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying thank you for your explanation.
So to come back in, there are some landscape improvements proposed. Do you have that plan available, or I could pull it off my? Okay, I have a landscape. I want to talk about that, and I'm going to go to the letters. Is that? So what you're looking at here is our landscape plan. So on the landscape plan, I know there was a comment about shade trees and not showing any shade trees in the right-of-way. Some of the reasons why we are not able to get shade trees in the right-of-way is because there's existing utilities. So there's gas, water, utilities that run along the site frontage. So we're unable to put utilities on top of those, or trees on top of those utilities. However, what the applicant's proposing to do is create that green space in the front. So essentially, shade trees, shrubs, and grasses. To the north, where the parking lot is, we are proposing a shade tree in the parking lot. And working with Paul, understand that there's a buffer requirement for the parking lot. I believe we'll be able to fit a tree in one of these landscape areas to get some more shade trees along the frontage. But not along the site frontage. This is where the utilities are, which will be difficult to get any trees in that location. But we're open to any options that may, whether Paul has any suggestions on how to provide the trees, any other options that we could do, if we could donate them or whatever, we're definitely open to options to provide the trees. It's not that we don't want to provide the street trees. It's just that the site constraints don't allow for the street trees. But just to go through the comment letters, I was going to start with the engineer comment letter. Brett, if you can come up, there was a comment about the property ownership. So one property is Rowe Properties LLC, and one of the properties is listed as Rowe Brett. Can you clarify that?
So I'm the owner, full owner of Rowe Properties LLC. One of the properties is titled in my name, and we're trying to combine all of them for this application. So
Yeah, so post, when we're done, he'll combine the properties. He is, basically what he's saying is he owns all the properties that are on as part of the application. The second comment has to deal with the fire commissioner. We did prepare a truck turning exhibit for a fire truck, and we're confident that the truck can make it into the driveway and the parking area, and we'll comply with that comment. The shade tree, the third comment has to deal with the Shade Tree Commission review. We did receive the Shade Tree Commission comments, and we will address their comments, and a lot of it had to deal with modifying the species of trees that are proposed, so we can comply with that comment. The fourth comment has to do with providing a cost estimate. We'll comply. The fifth comment has to deal with providing will serve letters for gas and electric. There are no new utility connections proposed as part of the project. All utilities are existing on site. We're not adding any new utilities. There was a comment, though, about showing the locations of existing utilities, and the applicant will do so. There was another comment about truck turning templates for the fire engines. That kind of plays into the fire commissioner comment. So we'll provide the truck turning templates and obtain any approvals necessary from the fire commissioner. Number 7 is very similar to number 6, and number 2 will comply. Number 8 has to deal with sewer planning modules. There are no new sewer connections proposed. Therefore, and we're not adding any bathrooms or any new employees, so we don't feel like this is necessary. The other comment has to deal with limit of disturbance. I can work with the engineer on definition of limited disturbance. And I can address that comment. Number 10, regarding the size of the building, that's a clarification item. That's a will comply. Number 11, regarding dumpsters. So Brett Rowe can speak to that. All the trash is kept within the building. So Brett, do you want to talk about how you manage trash today?
Sure. So there's a small dumpster, and it's inside the building, and then when the pickup comes, we wheel it out to the, to the pickup area. Nothing's outside. And Mike mentioned the utilities. I believe on the last page of the handout that I put there that kind of showed the before and after, I think the last page shows a markup of the site plan with the like blue, green, and yellow lines that show the existing placement of gas, electric, or gas, water, and sewer.
Comment 12 has to deal with ADA ramp details. We understand that we are going to need a highway occupancy permit, so when we submit the highway occupancy permit, we'll include the ADA curb ramp designs, and that all gets submitted to the city prior to recording the plan. The height of the building, I believe, has been clarified. That's comment 13. So I believe the zone allows for a 65-foot building height, and we're proposing 28 feet, which is going to match the profile of the existing taller building on the site. There was a comment about the steps in front of the warehouse. The applicant will comply with that. We'll provide any design details necessary to make sure those steps are compliant. The speed limit sign, that can be added to the plan. We'll comply. 17, it has to deal with the, I guess the trailer. There's a trailer located on the parcel located to the northwest, and that trailer is going to get removed, and it's going to get restored. Yeah, it belongs to the neighbor, and it's going to get restored to grass. So there's no one living in it now, right? Just a vacant trailer, and it's just going to get removed, and we're going to restore it to grass. Number 18 is just a text item that we need to modify, and we can comply. And then we get into the subdivision land development ordinance. The first comment in Saldo has to deal with the sewer, which I believe I addressed earlier. There's no new sewer connections, so I believe we comply. The second comment has to deal with the driveways. So, as I stated in when I was original portion of my presentation showing the existing conditions, there are two driveways located off of 291. There's the center driveway, and then there's the driveway located further to the west. Both of those driveways are active now. The center driveway is used once, maybe twice a week. The driveway to the west is used, how often is that used? Daily. It's a daily driveway. There is with the new building, there will be the ability for a truck to pull in and turn around and pull out, so you don't have to worry about backing up on the 291. I did have a conversation with the engineer prior to the meeting. I believe they were concerned about trucks backing up on the 291 or pulling off at 291. We understand that will have to get this as part of our highway occupancy permit. PennDOT's going to review the driveways. The driveways have been there since 1950. The site is not viable without the driveways. So we'll work with PennDOT and get any approvals necessary to keep those driveways in their current condition. And I will note that those driveways are just proposed to be reconstructed. We're not expanding them. We're not adding any additional area to them. It's just a reconstructed driveway. The third comment has to do with existing utilities, which I believe Brett Rowe just addressed. And then the second, number 4 has to deal with preliminary final land development as a single submission. So basically, the applicant's here today requesting conditional preliminary final approval to submit this land development as a preliminary final instead of just going through a preliminary then a final land development as per the Saldo ordinance. Comment 5 is we will comply. That's having a licensed surveyor prepare a subdivision plan. Comment 6 has to deal with two driveways. Similar to the comment that I discussed earlier about PennDOT, the driveway on 291, you know, all the driveways on the site are existing. We'll obtain whatever approvals necessary are from PennDOT. Number 7 has to deal with improving the roadways, Clayton Street and Cotton Street. I believe the applicant's willing to do some pothole repair. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I mean, we'll absolutely cold patch and pothole, but that road, like I said, we've been there for 25, 26 years. It's never been resurfaced. The alleyway in the back is in really poor condition, but we'll, you know, we'll comply and make improvements there as we can, but resurface the whole street.
Number 9 has to do with lighting. So the current plan that we have for landscape, it's called a landscape and lighting plan. We are showing one light above the loading dock. There are existing lights on the site. What we can do is we can provide a more detailed lighting plan, and that was also a comment from the planning department as well. So we will comply with that. And then finally, there were some zoning comments, and I believe the zoning comments are somewhat similar to the comments that were proposed from the planning department. The first comment is a general comment. The second comment has to deal with the existing non-conforming setback in the LIC district. Since, we're a corner lot, we have 2 front yards, and essentially, I guess Cotton Street would technically not be classified as a front yard, but it's technically, we have 3 front yards in some definitions. The building facade, we did provide a rendering of the building. The building will be constructed of metal panels, and then we have some windows up top, as was depicted in the rendering that we showed previously. I can pull that up if you want. So the building facade is going to be metal panels, and then you're going to have a row of windows, glass at the top. There's also a welcome to the city. When I get the signage, I'll talk about the welcome to the city of Chester sign. 4 is similar lighting comment. We'll comply with the lighting comments. Number 5 has to deal with the employees. Right now, as part of this project, the applicant is not proposing to add any additional employees. They're only adding space to support their existing sign manufacturing company, which will allow them to operate more efficiently. Number 6 has to do with the drive aisle for parking. The parking lot is currently 20. The drive aisle for the parking lot is currently 20 feet wide. I did talk to the planning department about making that wider, making that more conforming. I believe I can get it to about 23 and a half without being 1 foot to the property line. So I can work with the planning department to comply with that. But in our opinion, that would be an existing nonconformity. But obviously, the applicant's willing to work with the planning department to comply whichever way possible. And then there's also number 7 has to deal with the planting strip of 8 feet, which the applicant, Brett Rowe, the applicant's willing to comply. Number 8 is similar comment with the fire truck. We did provide a fire truck turning exhibit. We can comply with that comment. Number 9, fire equipment, access fire, that's similar to the fire equipment comments and the general comments. Number 10, zoning permit shall be required for all signs. So we are proposing So the applicant is not proposing any signs specifically for the business, but when we submitted earlier and met with the planning department requested that we provide some welcome to the city of Chester sign, and I believe the applicant is willing to do that as depicted on the plan, and we'll make sure, we'll comply with whatever size requirement that it would be required per zoning. And that is what the sign, and obviously that's just a rendition of the sign, and if the planning department has any comments or has any suggestions, we're open to suggestions on how you would like the sign to look or where you'd like it placed. And then,
If I may,
oh,
or
go.
a mural or something, I mean, I'm a fan of the history of Chester, and we do a lot of work for Mural Arts of Philadelphia. To me, like, those walls there with the traffic coming in from the west, just are like great opportunities to showcase, you know, some type of historical progression of the city or something. But we're happy to do whatever helps.
The comment number 11 is a similar sign comment, and we will comply. Number 12 has to do with deciduous shade trees, and I believe it's requesting that we add another tree and also street trees for number 13. And number 14 is just the burden of proof, the evidence regarding nonconformities, which we will prepare a detailed letter and submit that to the planning department. And if it is determined by the planning department that some of what we feel are existing nonconformities or variances, then we'll go in front of the zoning board, if need be. And regarding stormwater, there was one comment regarding stormwater, and we will provide the locations of the roof leaders. And I will note, I didn't really touch on stormwater because we kind of meet it naturally. So what we're doing is we're creating more green space on the site. And by creating that green space, we're able to show a reduction in stormwater management. So that's all I have for today. Do you have anything else you want to add, Brett?
I do not.
Does the board have any questions of me?
Can you go back to number 7 on the
Sure.
first page, please? I think I missed.
I know I went pretty fast.
Yeah,
Which number 7 on,
the first page, general comment.
okay, make sure I got the right one. It says, "The plan indicates one pedestrian access door to the proposed building. In case of a fire or other emergency, we believe a secondary access should be provided for the proposed building." So the building currently has 3 man doors and 3 overhead doors. However, we will, as part of the building permit process and as part of this process, we'll make sure that we have a compliant egress plan that would be acceptable per current building codes. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Brett.
I mean, of course, but there's, like mentioned, there's 3, there's a door on the east, west, and south sides, man doors, and then the large overhead doors too, to get out. But if it's determined we need to add a door or 2, happy to do that.
Yeah, and to comply with the building code, obviously, we would comply.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, you're mentioning the doorways, especially the front. As far as ADA accessibility, do you have, I know you mentioned steps, do you have ramps or?
So currently, we have a proposed ADA parking stall, and if someone were to need to get into the building from an ADA standpoint, there's 2 ways we can do it. Number 1 is we're gonna upgrade the access on Clayton Street, so that there's a ramp there so that someone can get in the building via ramp. But also the overhead garage door is another way to enter the building from an ADA standpoint. But we'll make sure that whatever is done on the site will meet current ADA codes and comply.
Yeah, mine was in reference to under the zoning ordinance.
Yeah.
6, and the minimum aisle width of 24 feet, and you were saying that you could do 23.5, so would that be acceptable, that 0.5 difference?
Well, I think our argument there is that it's going to be, we feel like the parking lot's always been there, it's always been used as a parking lot, and we feel like it's an existing nonconformity. We don't want to create a variance by parking within a foot, because the ordinance says that you have to be at least a foot from the adjacent property line. So if we're within a foot, that would create a variance. So we are under the assumption that we're going to make the argument that we are an existing nonconforming use, and we're going to better that. And that's an existing nonconformity, and we're going to better that nonconformity. And the zoning department's going to have to make that determination. If they determine that they feel like it's still a variance, we'll have to go to the zoning hearing board.
So, I mean, if I can say.
Yeah, go
my
ahead.
understanding. So we have 5 feet now between the property line and the edge of the blacktop. against the one property line. If we went to 4 feet, or it might be 4.5 feet, it makes the space in between 23 feet 6 inches instead of 24 feet, which the code says. So we've had no issues with any cars coming in and out of there, so.
We were talking about maybe putting a mural on there. My head is spinning about some kind of a little contest for the schools, you know, along to work with a mural group, for that matter. I see we have someone here from the fire department, so if we could hear from that person. Do you have anything that you want to add to this? Especially in reference to if your truck's concerned.
Yes, Captain Michael Bernath,
Okay, thank you. On behalf of the,
Chester Fire
for the
Department.
records. Okay, thank you.
So what exactly, so talking yesterday, the parking lot will not be an issue for us as far as fire tactics go. 291 will not be an issue for us because the hydrant's on the opposite side of the street of their property anyway, so that's getting shut down, so we're not worried about traffic as far as where firefighting is happening. So we're not really opposed to anything, correct, Paul?
Yeah, because you have access on Clayton.
Yeah, and cotton's tight, but if we had to, we could make cotton happen, but most likely we won't have to do that.
Okay, so more than likely, they would pass through.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we'll utilize 291 and Clayton Street for apparatus.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other question?
I have one more question as far as, I know you said you would put the building on top and then work on the inside.
Brett, you want to talk about that? Yep.
Would that cause more disturbance in the neighborhood, you know, as far as, you know, the residents there?
Actually, it'll cause a lot less because we're currently operating in that building. So if we were to tear the whole building down like a traditional construction, it would be a major disturbance. We designed this building to have 4 support columns on each side, the north and south side. So we can set foundations, set steel columns while the existing building is still up, erect a new building all around it, and then once the building's enclosed, then bring equipment in through the door and demo from the inside. The neighbors won't hear anything. There won't be the dust and debris and everything that goes along with construction, and it allows us to section off parts of that building to demo, move our existing operations, demo the rest. It's just a way to do it that allows us to keep operating and not have to shut down. So.
Anything else? Anybody else? No? Okay, any comments from the audience? If you'd come forward, state your name and what have you. Yes.
Good evening, Ron Madison, Colliers Engineering Design. We submitted our letter to the Planning Commission dated February 5th, 2025. Mr. Galante walked through it all, so I won't do that. We support this project. It's a good project for an existing business. Our major concern really is that there may be the opportunity for relief in the zoning hearing board, but more so that PennDOT highway occupancy permit is required in the existing driveways. I don't recommend the city approve this plan until we get sign off by PennDOT. So my recommendation would be to table the plan, make the revisions, set up a meeting with PennDOT, have a pre-scoping meeting for the highway occupancy permit. Once we get the driveways worked out with PennDOT approval off of West 2nd Street, then I think the plan can come back here and move forward for conditional approval. Be happy to answer any other questions.
Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Thank you. Is there anybody else in the audience? Okay. All right.
motion for that? All right, can I get a motion to table just until that one condition is satisfied?
I move that we table, the project until
PennDOT.
we get information from PennDOT that satisfies what is needed to move forward.
Yes, sir.
If I could make a suggestion that you also amend your motion to include, if zoning hearing board relief is necessary, that be resolved.
They deem it necessary to do what?
If it is
Zoning hearing.
Okay. And in addition, if zoning deems it necessary to give a variance, that goes forth also.
Can we get a second? Second. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have it. So we'll just, so we get that information, and it'll be for us, okay? Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Okay. All right, thank you.
So the very next item, that is it for new business. These items that'll be coming before you now are ones that were previously presented to you, and they're old business. The very first one that'll be coming before you is our minor land development plan. It's revised final plan, but on its first review. The plan title is Fourth and Booth Distribution Center Stage 2 Revision. So the location is actually an extension of 3000 West 4th Street, but it's actually going to be at 436 Highland Avenue is what the actual legal address for where this proposed building is going to be. It is an extension of 3000 West 4th Street where the warehouse was brought before you and was approved. And this is literally the other side. The parking lot is a different address, and it's an extension of this particular address, but it is not 3000 West 4th Street. It's 436 Highland Avenue is what it is. And it's in the light industrial commercial zoning district. The applicant is Alliance 436 Highland Avenue, LLC, care of Alliance HP Management, LLC. And they are proposing construction of a one-story, 9,600 square feet building for tractor trailer, bus repair, garage use. 2 parking lots, one to specifically serve the repair building, and fencing. The Stage 2 area was originally reserved for future development accessory to the 100,000 square foot distribution center that is at 3000 West 4th Street that was a part of Stage 1. We're going to have planning come up, followed by our engineering.
Well, after me, I'll have the applicant come up, and then we'll follow with Ron. But as alluded to this project, it's always been a two-phase project. So if you're familiar with Fourth and Booth, which I'm sure you are, it's a large warehouse building. And we're talking about the east side today, which is, there's 2 actually zoning districts in that east side. There's the C2, and then there is the LIC. And where this proposed building, this 9,600 square foot building is located, it's in the LIC. It is a permitted use, and actually the applicant got a zoning permit for their tractor trailer slash bus repair proposal back in July 2nd, I believe, of 2024. So again, it's a permitted use. I just want to make sure you're aware of that. And then per the letter that I gave you on January 31st, we talked about some of the items that just need clarification, just some minor items in the zoning table, clarification on the siding, which seems to be a hot topic nowadays, the amount of metal siding on the buildings being no more than 60% on the front facade. So we just asked for clarification on the drawings. And then we did make a comment again about this being such a big building, you know, roughly over 8,000 square feet, gives an opportunity to do that sustainable approach where it could be white roofs, a green roof, which is not proposed on this one, or solar panels. Does anybody have any questions about my letter to the Planning Commission?
Can you explain the junk car piece?
Ms. Leo, could you talk in your mic?
I'm sorry. Can you
Could-
explain the junk car piece?
The junk car
Am I
piece.
looking at the wrong thing?
What letter? Let me see. Oh, right down here. Oh, okay, yes. So that related to our environmental section in the zoning ordinance. And that lists things from fumes, noise, and light issues. So all that we asked the applicant in this is just to make sure there's a clarification on their plans that they will abide by all the rules of that certain article in our zoning ordinance. So I listed those in the letter,
But
the
they
ones that
would-
they need to
The
apply.
junk cars would be inside their fence?
They're not proposing that, but I
No,
just want to make.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, is that where the junk cars will be? I'm asking.
The cars that are under repair, because there should be no junk cars. That's the language from the zoning ordinance,
Okay.
and that's,
No, the only reason I ask
Yeah.
because I do see folks with repair, and junk cars are everywhere,
yep.
and that's why I wanted to ask.
Well, and that's one reason we're asking them to at least put on the plans that they will abide by that article specifically. And I would let the applicant respond to that, but that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up, because since this is a repair garage, there's susceptibility to like fumes or noise and things like that. So we just want to make sure they're going to comply by that in these record plans. Any other questions in my letter?
No? Anybody have any other questions? Mr. Priest?
All right, I will invite the applicant to come up at this moment.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Robert Scott. I'm the applicant's attorney. This is Sean Paul, who's the applicant's engineer, and Eric Carlson, who's the principal with the applicant. Just to initially kind of orient you to the history of this project.
Bob, can I give you a mic?
Thanks.
Okay.
What do we have here? Do you have you don't have a board of the whole warehouse?
Oh, I do.
On the back? Oh, great, yes, thanks, okay. So this is the third time we've been before the Planning Commission. We've had two prior approvals. The original approval was for this large distribution center that the city approved, that you approved, the city council approved, and that has been constructed. We were subsequently in front of you after my client acquired this property, which used to house a St. Hedwig's Catholic Club building. That building was demolished. They then consolidated this property into this one and got approvals for the use of tractor trailer parking here. So twice this has been before you, twice it's been approved, and the good news is most of the heavy lifting and the hard work got done in those prior applications. All the sidewalks have been approved, they've been constructed, the stormwater's been constructed. We're now proposing to revise our second, plan approval. Thank you. By constructing this garage, tractor-trailer bus repair garage, on top of what was previously a parking area. So it's not making any more impervious. It was impervious. It's going to continue to be impervious, but a small building. And as I said, all the heavy lifting was already addressed in our prior applications. All the improvements have already been constructed. Stormwater's been constructed, the sidewalk's been constructed. So this is just the addition of this 9,600 square foot building where there had been parking. So with that, I'm going to ask the engineer to kind of go through the review letter.
I'll first ask, do we want to go through the review letter item by item, or we want to hit some topics? Oh, okay. I thought I knew the answer. I just wanted to.
Mr. Madison, go.
Mr. Galante went line by line, that's their prerogative. I don't recommend that. And I will admonish Sean Paul, handouts at the Planning Commission meeting shouldn't be allowed. The deadline for the submission for this meeting was 3 weeks ago. Handing stuff out at the meeting is a new submission. It shouldn't be reviewed. Sorry. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So without the need of going through line by line.
I just want to hit on a few quick topics that we can go over. Some of them are in the review letter. Some of them are items that we just wanted to bring up and lay before you. As Bob already mentioned, the current layout does not increase impervious coverage. It, in fact, reduces the impervious coverage by a nominal amount. It's only 500 square feet reduction of impervious coverage. From our previous submission back, I believe that was in 2023. Our stormwater was installed with a field change permitted by PADEP, reviewed by the city prior back in 2022, 2023 also. We do have to submit a revised stormwater report as Ron requested. The stormwater as it was installed during a field change is just it's below a minor amendment for PADEP. Basically no changes were occurring, just a realignment so the DEP accepted as a field change. So we will submit revised calculations. The bed volume remained the same, the chambers stayed the same, the amount of chambers stayed the same. It just got rotated. Before it ran along 4th Street, we rotated it up to go along the driveway, and this site cannot percolate. It is an Act 2 site. We are not allowed to infiltrate into the ground. So this is what's called a managed release concept. So basically, we just hold the water for as long as possible and let it slowly release down to Delcora. Again, it was submitted to Delcora, accepted by Delcora, and accepted by DEP previously. The previous layout was just tractor-trailer parking. Again, we did go through the zoning hearing in 2023, 2024 for that, to allow for tractor-trailer parking within the rear portion of the site. If you look back here, this line separates the zoning district. So this is the C1R versus the LIC district. This tractor-trailer parking in this area was previously accepted by the zoning hearing board. We are not actually modifying anything back here. We're only looking in the LIC district. So the tractor-trailer bus repair building is wholly within the LIC district. We did have to revise the plans a little further to include some striping back here just for the vehicle parking, which would be required by the parking ordinance. along with these additional spaces in the front here. The landscaping, again, because this is an amended land development, the landscaping was previously approved and reviewed by the Shade Tree Commission. That was the 2022-2023 date. We are not proposing revisions to that plan. However, on our the plan up on the board now depicts the plan as was submitted in 2022-2023 with the landscaping along along Grace Street and 4th Street, along with the trees within the parking aisles between Stage 1 and Stage 2. Because the nature of this is we're not increasing any impervious coverage, the trees and shrubs as they were submitted are going to continue with this submission. And a large majority of them have been installed already in the rear portion of the site, which is already completed construction. There are a few items in the review letter which we need to clarify, some of them being graphical errors. Which we will comply with. We do have an exhibit the exhibit shown now as the elevations of the proposed building. And as was stated previously, we are not above the 60% of metal panels. I believe the highest percentage we are is 46%. For the metal panels, we have block and windows along 4th Street, with the garage doors not facing 4th Street. The garage doors are only facing into the site. So no new access will be along 291. The site was reviewed and approved through PennDOT through the one access on 4th Street. The letter from the engineer, the HOP engineer, was submitted to the city for its closeout also. The site as drawn, we will not have the ability to store junk cars in the front yard, as on this site previously there was a repair facility along 4th Street, and there were cars sitting along 4th Street in the right-of-way along the sidewalk. How the site is laid out does not allow for any junk cars to sit outside. And
it's not a car use.
Right.
It's to repair tractor trailers and buses. It would all be done internally.
Right.
I think the junk car reference was kind of a
Right.
allusion to the prior owner's use, where there were 6 bays that faced 4th Street, and they were rather messy. They were kind of, I think, of some independent auto body shops, and there were a lot of junk cars visible under the prior owner. This use has no cars will be worked on.
There is a request for additional ADA information to the site, specifically for the ADA parking. We do understand that we have to comply with the ADA section of the Pennsylvania adopted 2018 IBC, which states that the ADA parking spaces shall be provided on the closest accessible route of travel to the adjacent parking area. As laid out on our site, the parking spaces are laid out on the closest accessible route. It's not the closest route because we have to be accessible. We can't have an ADA step or too steep of a ramp, so we have the sidewalk ramping up at ADA acceptable 5%. As I As I mentioned before, there was a field change for the stormwater BMP, the bed within the parking lot. That was submitted as a field change. This application, because we are extending out into the right-of-way for our new utilities, is considered a minor amendment and was submitted to Delaware County Conservation District yesterday. They understand this is coming. It is a expansion of the limit of disturbance by 500 square feet, which well qualifies us for a minor amendment. According to the letter Paul Fritz sent, there was questions about the fire truck access. We did do a quick truck turning plan for a standard fire truck. So as shown on the plan, we are able to show a fire truck, a standard fire truck. I didn't get the specifics from the Chester Fire Department. This is a standard 42-foot long ladder truck, can access the site from 4th Street, make a maneuver through the site without hitting any parking aisles. And we believe that we can meet the ordinance for the fire truck access in the 2021 Fire Code. It describes the criteria for fire apparatus access shall be within 150 feet of any access road. We are claiming that the access roads are 4th Street, so from the front of the building, we only have 45 feet from the curb to the building, which we meet the 150 foot of paved direct access. Along Grace Street, we are 31 feet. And as shown on the plan here, we can access the building directly from the parking area for the vehicles and for the drive aisle for the rest of the site. At this time, this applicant, there's no additional signage proposed, so we don't have to go through any of those. Again, the fire department, I believe the representatives are here. I don't know if they want to speak on this part also. We are still waiting comments from the Delaware County Planning Commission, and I believe that's all we wanted to speak about, unless.
That's all we have for now.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, we can have a representative from the fire department come forward. I don't know if you've seen this plan, but if you have, then you can give us some comments.
So Captain Michael Burness, City of Chester Fire Department. I know we talked about, refresh my memory, Paul, on the fencing, correct?
Gaining access through the fencing.
And on the width of that is, I believe, minimum of 20 feet entrance?
For a minimum apartment, it's actually
Yes. 24 feet, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
We talked about having knockboxes, right?
yeah,
Unfortunately, we weren't able to work with the fire company to get their review memo out in time. We spoke yesterday afternoon. We'll have that approved by then, and we'll get to the applicant. But your biggest concerns was box access from 4th
Yeah.
Street through the gate, and then there's a second gate off the access easement to this building.
correct, yep,
And I think you just want to work
Yes.
with the owner to make sure you have proper access.
yes. And I know, I was thinking about like just the width of the opening. I wanted to make sure that we were clear on that.
Yeah, because we didn't have a turning radius.
Right,
That was just submitted today.
And then your future fire trucks, they're 48 as well, so you would need
yes, yeah, correct. We're using 48 feet.
Right, thank
Okay.
you so much.
Welcome.
Okay, and Mr. Madison?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. We've submitted our engineering review letter dated February 6th. Although this is a complicated plan in that it's a amendment or revision to a prior approved plan with a different use, We think we can work with the applicant and their consultants to clean up the remaining items. There may need to be an amendment in addition to the limited disturbance for the County Conservation District NPDS permit. There may need to be a minor amendment to the highway occupancy permit through PennDOT because that was being worked to be closed out, and they will need utility access from PennDOT's right-of-way. Is that a correct statement?
Can I respond?
Yeah.
So my understanding is that for, yeah. My name is Eric Carlson. I'm Vice President at Alliance HP, which is the owner of this property. So what we were planning to do with PennDOT was that we had submitted a letter with our application. I'll take two steps back. When the physically,
Come to the microphone.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'll take a step back on the entire approval process with PennDOT for this project. So when we initially came in for the 105,000-foot building, we worked with the prior township or city engineer and with PennDOT for improvements for access to 4th Street. Through that process, there were improvements that you see today along 4th Street where there was sidewalk installed. Additionally, at the intersection of Post and Price, which is outside of the town of the city, there were also improvements to that left-hand turn, so that there were medians at Post and Price in Traynor Township that were removed. So there was an improvement down there as well, so that was all done, and that was really tied to the 105,000-foot building for traffic associated with that. When we got, when this, I will call it phase 2, which was 89 tractor trailer spaces, when that was approved about a year ago, as part of that process, the city had requested that we make some improvements to the signalization that has existed at the intersection of 4th and Booth. And so through that process, we made a contribution to the city, which I believe the intersection has already been upgraded with upgraded mast arms. And so that brings us to today and what we're proposing. So my understanding from our traffic consultant, which is McMahon Bowman, was that whenever there's a change in proposed use on an existing PennDOT HOP permit, that you need to notify PennDOT of the change in use. And so we did that earlier, late last year. And to date, we have not received any feedback and correspondence. So in my mind, on the highway occupancy permit, we're settled, and we can talk about that. And I guess as it relates to the improvements associated with the PennDOT highway occupancy permit, PennDOT has accepted all of the work that was associated with that permit to date. And we are in their maintenance period. I think I've shared with you their release, their closeout of the HOP permit. But Ron is correct that as it relates to utilities that will need to be for this new building, which will include sewer, water, I know gas is in, I guess gas is in the right of way. Those will require access to the state road. But in my experience, the utility providers are the ones that seek those road opening permits.
Yeah. To that extent, now, the PennDOT will require the developer to obtain the permit application for those utilities. The permits might be recognized to the utilities themselves, but the applicant has to make that application to PennDOT to enter the PennDOT right-of-way. All that being said, we don't have any objections as an amended plan if it is the board's desire to recommend preliminary final conditional approval of this revised plan, subject to addressing all the planning and zoning office comment letter of January 31st, the city engineer's letter of February 6, 2025, and amendments to the NPDS permit documentation from Delaware County Conservation District, and fourth, PennDOT highway occupancy permit for the proposed utilities of the proposed building. And the fire, we'll address the fire as well.
We're fine with all that.
All right. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve this proposal with all the necessary conditions that have to be taken care of before they can proceed? Does that make sense? Make sense? All right, so can I get a motion?
I move that all the necessary, that we agree with all the necessary conditions approved first.
I second. Okay, it's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approved.
will only point out two things, the letter that I provided you. And one is just about the location of their accessory outdoor storage, which is shown on their plans now. And we thank them for doing that. We just want to make sure in the measurement that they have, it does meet 25%. In our takeoff, it was just literally over, so we just want clarification that it does meet 25% threshold for outdoor accessory storage. All my other comments were about compliance with the zoning ordinance. And then on the very last page, I had a comment, and just wanted to point out that the applicant did make adjustments to their landscape plan. This is comment number 10, through a discussion that we had with Shade Tree Commission and also just internal conversations with the planning and zoning department about actually putting more landscaping on the corner of West Third Street and Curl, and they did comply by that, so I just wanted to point that out. Otherwise, I think Ron will have some comments, but we'll let the applicant come up and make a presentation, unless there's questions for me first. Okay.
Sorry, you're stuck with me again.
That's okay.
Apologize if anybody wasn't here the last time we came in with the submission for this project. Again, this is our
Thank you.
Edward Bradley, Fire Marshal's Office. We had no concerns for this property, besides maybe a Knox box or any other building,
Okay.
so, like access and everything else.
All right, thank you so much. Mhm. All right.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We submitted our engineering review letter February 6th. The revised plans address the majority of our prior comments. We had an interim meeting with the applicant and their design consultant with the planning group, and we tried to balance the need for security versus the buffer yard requirements, particularly along the rear of the existing houses on Curlin Street, yeah. And we believe the current plan satisfies that. There will be an 8-foot grass lawn buffer between the edge of the pavement and storage area to the rear of those homes that are on Curlin Street. Their fencing will utilize the back of those homes. Between two of the homes, there's already a brick wall. Between the other two homes, there'll be fencing to provide security. But as part of the record plan, there'll be plan notes that there'll be a access easement for those property owners to access the rear of the properties with notification to Mr. Zyla in case they have to maintain the rear of the properties, paint the rear of the property, place a window. They have access to the rear of their properties, which is, we thought was important since the properties, homes go right up to the property. We're generally satisfied. There is some minor details with the ADA ramps out on West Third Street that we need some more clarification, and the actual design of the connections to Delcor for sanitary storm and also the water service. But we believe we can work these out with the designer, and we have no objections to a recommendation for preliminary final conditional approval, with the conditions being our review letter of February 6th and Paul's review letter of January 31st.
Thank you. And is the applicant here? You would like to come forward, state your name and anything that you have to add?
Greg Zal on the owner of the property. Unless you guys have questions, I don't have any.
Okay. Well, we may have some questions. Anybody have some?
I have one question. I meant to ask last time, the new lines that are put in, like the sewer, Delcor, whatever, would that interfere with the residential housing or residents
No,
that's there?
I mean, that's either, short answer is no, but you can maybe elaborate a little more.
Interesting enough, if you're familiar with the site, there was existing connections along Third Street. I do not know exactly when the building was demolished. There was I believe it was commercial on the first floor and multifamily above that. Close to the location of where we're proposing this 6,000 square foot building. In our experience, Delcora and Chester Water force our hand to try to use those existing connections, just because the nature of these water lines and sewer lines down here is some of them are brick lines, some of them are old iron pipes. They want to try to utilize these existing connections as much as possible, and everybody wants to try to use these connections as much as possible. The existing buildings there were narrow 18-foot wide buildings.
Yeah, my concern was, you know, as far as backing up into other people's properties. That was a concern.
Are you specifically saying like sewer?
Like
having
sewer,
backed
yes,
up?
yes.
We can control when we go out to the sewer line. I'll pre-dedicate that. We did request, will serve letters, from Delcora and from Chester Water. We are still waiting back for Budas. I copied you on Budas. I did get somebody to respond back, very recently, specifically about these will serve letters. Further along that same line, the thought of the existing multifamily building plus a commercial building on that site, but now us just utilizing a commercial site. A commercial site uses a significantly less amount of water and then in turn sanitary water per person. A typical office uses about 10 gallons per person per day. A single family house, state of Pennsylvania, we use 262.5 gallons per day per household. That's called an EDU. So we are actually expecting this unit to use less than 1 EDU when previously on this site there was, we don't know exactly how many EDUs because we don't have the water records from back then, but just the nature of being multifamily plus commercial, there was more than 1 EDU in use before. We're going to use less than 1 moving forward.
So the EDU, what is that, the pressure? Is that?
No, an EDU, so that's sanitary only. An EDU is just sanitary leaving the site. So an EDU is 262.5 gallons per day. I didn't make up the number. So that's one equivalent dwelling unit. So one single family house, according to the state of Pennsylvania, uses on average 262.5 gallons per day. We plan on utilizing 90 gallons per day on the site. So again, we'll be less than 262, so we'll be less than 1 EDU on the site. Before there was multiple multifamily units, again, all utilizing 1 EDU, so we're going to be reducing that. And then the same will go with water, so we're using a lot less water on the site than was previous. So there's just no calculus for an EDU for water design.
Any other questions?
Yes. Under Article 1347, Section 2, it mentions getting approval from the property owner at 225 Curlin Street regarding the fencing. Has that been confirmed?
Is that, I don't know, is that the corner that they just did that porch?
Yes.
No, but I talked to Muhammad is who I bought the properties off of, and it's like his friend or whatever, and he mentioned something to him, but I had not physically talked to the guy, but it shouldn't be a problem at all. He just redid like the corner of that porch and put a nice fence up, so.
He did.
It shouldn't be a problem at all.
And the same goes with the fence a little bit farther down. The fence, and again, was already alluded to before. The houses along Curlin Street are actually over the property line by a nominal amount, a few inches. So the fences that we are proposing, there's a fence in between 221 and 223 Curlin Street. Technically is on Mr. Zyla's property, but we are also going to be getting approvals from those owners to install that fence also. Again, it's on Mr. Zyla's property, but instead of installing a fence inboard of the property line and creating this area for trash and debris and leaves and weeds to just grow, we're utilizing that area as our green space and putting the fence closer to the property.
You have any questions? Okay. Now, you said with Delcora that you would be going into the combined sewage system. I thought that all new construction is supposed to use a single.
Separate, like water and sewer.
We'll work that out with Cora, but there'll be a lateral for their domestic sewage from the building to
Right.
their toilet. And then for the stormwater system, there'll be a separate connection to the stormwater.
I apologize, I should have been clear with that.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Clarification on the amount of lots coverage proposed for outdoor storage is at or above 25%, so what is happening with that? Give us some clarification on that.
We can revise the amount of area dedicated to the outdoor storage as seen fit in the zoning code. For zoning, we can't be above 25%, but that's a number that can, we can work towards that 25%.
Okay. And then you were,
To that extent, they have a dumpster area that they would need keep access to, and then we'll reduce the outdoor storage areas so the trash truck will get the dumpster, and that will resolve it.
okay. Because that was my next question, was where is this dumpster going to be? Okay.
Also, to be clear, I did speak with Mr. Zalman about this. His property, as is currently laid out, because he does have two other properties in the city of Chester not far from this. Full-scale dumpsters are not utilized. He utilizes larger totes. Okay, yeah. So they're not. It's not this large 8-yard dumpster that he utilizes on a regular basis. They're smaller wheel ones.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions from the, do you have anything else, Mr.? All right, so what's your pleasure? Ready? Okay. Can I get a motion? What do you want to do?
I move that the plan go forward with the few minor stipulations that have been placed. Based on the letters.
I
Can I get a
second it.
second?
Colliers. I probably want to be specific.
Yeah, Jim is saying based on the city engineer's letter.
Letters. and then-
Based on the city engineer's letters.
And can we get a second?
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Been approved with all the necessary conditions from the letters. Okay, thank you for pursuing. It's been a long road. Mhm, okay. All right. Thank you.
The last thing, obviously, on the agenda is the director's report.
Yes.
I have 3 quick items. One is, I believe in your package was the annual report for
Yes.
2024. I just want to make sure you receive that, and if you have any questions, let us know. I would point out that Kim and I are going to work on how the report is presented next year and provide a little more substance to that report. Because in the end, that report goes to administration as part of a record document. So we appreciate your patience. What we were able to buy. Oh, you never really, well, we can go there on that.
Right. No, this is our first
Ideally-
time seeing
Yeah,
that.
ideally, the planning commission is supposed to get it before March 1st.
Okay.
And then it's recommended to go to administration.
Okay,
There you go.
Yes.
Yep.
is your name in here?
Is the name in there, but the planning director's in there, but yeah, my name's not on it, yes.
Okay, the planning director's name is in here.
No, and we can add.
No, I just wonder, well, when you look for a publication, you want to know who's in charge. who's doing the work. Years from now, it's history. I believe in history. Some names should be in here.
And the names.
Right.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
And that's what Kim is alluding to, is we took the old format and we
Right,
just
right.
Right.
reiterated it. So,
So I'm so going forward, for history's sake. Yeah.
But that was good to, the way, yes, for the first time around.
Yeah.
The second item is, I just want to give you a quick update on the zoning amendment that we gave you, the drafts for smoke shops and tobacco stores. As I mentioned, the city solicitor has reviewed it. Now we're going to work with the standing committee, I think it's called Community Economic Development and Community Housing. It's a standing committee with Councilman Green, Councilwoman Gibson, and the mayor, and just review it with them. We start getting into the formal process, which I'll probably bring it back to you to do a formal recommendation at the next meeting. If you can get that meeting with the standing committee to have.
My other concern in looking at this document, the part with, I mentioned this before about Deshaun,
Yes,
that there should be some representation from the community for Deshaun.
Oh,
There,
the Sham RFQ, yes, yes.
yeah,
That's
I
separate
mean,
from the zoning amendment.
I know, but if you're gonna put that in here, I'm gonna comment on that.
Deshang is not in the zoning amendment, that's what but that, I don't have a new update on the Deshang RFQ. It's still being worked on by the county.
Okay, but are you a part of that meeting, that meetup?
Since the last time we spoke, there hasn't been another meeting.
Okay, so I'm just saying,
Yep,
again,
yep.
that there should be some community representation, because there are a lot of people in Chester who hold the Shang Museum near and dear to their hearts. All of our high-end social functions happened at the Shang.
That's right. And I'm aware of the history, but I'm sensitive to your comment.
Just,
And then just quickly, the last thing is Kim and I are working on a list of some learning opportunities and also some training tools that already exist online. We're kind of compiling those and going to share those with you in the near future, where you can just click on something, whether it's a video, a magazine article, or some publication from the state that provides more guidance on planning commission tasks, duties, and knowledge gaining. So look forward to that. And again, it may be something we keep adding to as we get more information, but I wanted to make sure that you're understanding that we're going to give you some more informative materials on the planning commission's duties and requirements and stuff. So,
Okay. Remember the last time I asked about the, okay.
yes. And we did look into
Membership,
that. We did look into the boroughs, and we actually found that it wasn't the best resource.
Oh, good.
Even though you get the emails that I get,
Mm-hmm.
and you probably got one about some training on for police.
Yes.
We realized that after doing a further investigation, it wasn't the best resource that we believe would serve you the best, so we're gonna look for other opportunities. Whether it's in membership to an organization or just more access to educational events.
Right.
So I appreciate you asking about that, because we did look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
And then just the last thing is the next meeting, it's not February 12th, I think it's March 12th.
March.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
thank you for your time.
All right.
I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions? No questions. Okay. All right. Seeing none. Any other business? Anybody have any comments? No comments? Then can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move to adjourn this meeting. I second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. It is now 3:45. Thank you.
He usually hands stuff to me and I'm
Trying to do it. Mhm. Well, with all of these,
It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yes.
So we thank you guys for your meticulous ways that you point out things.
I thought it was a Christmas present.
Oh, sorry to
and it wasn't
disappoint
even
you.
a Christmas.
I would say, though,
it?
What is the home?
Yeah.
Is it part of what we were doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because there was a lot, I have a lot of questions about a lot of the things that were there.
I did go check out the one on Blue. I've been down that in the town. So, what I've seen, I like the landscaping.
Yes, it's very
Fencing, love it.
And it's a big difference.
Yes,
than
for
what it
that
was.
area.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is good, thank you. Well, why do you put them up so many? No, I mean, you have. Yeah.
So what are you all going to bring us next time? A suitcase?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, gosh, no, no.
I'm the bag lady.
No,
I bought mine,
everything up.
I put mine in a box, and I bought the box.
I'm the bag lady.
This is,
But, go ahead.
You get, some people don't get some, they don't get some.
oh, we all got the same thing. It's just that
So we're all.
this is all I carried with me.
Now, storage. How long are we expecting to hold on this stuff? No, I mean, all this, for a year.
On the city side, we have to give a lot.
Our fire department does one.
Especially the big pieces, I could probably keep the smaller pieces.
Well, it's until they bring the truck out here. Aren't they going to bring the truck to shred?
Yeah, I'm sure that would be good.
I'll never make sure.
Well, we still have those other two. So,
Yeah. When I get home, I have to
You take
take
the
out
apples
the
thing
ones
too?
that we did.
You take the eggs?
Yeah, but
Drop me a line.
No, yeah, I just wanna make sure that.
I saw Mike in New Orleans too.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you was out there? Okay. Y'all got that money. We'll talk about that off the. We'll talk about that off the record.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right.
Sidewalk maintenance, like all the bullets.
Kim, can I read
Yeah,
your
I mean,
stuff?
I know.
Thank you so much. It was good.
You had it good?
Yeah. 'cause I
It
don't
really
like
helps it
some
opens
shit
you,
right
right?
up.
Me too. Can't be too strong, but I like it. And it comes already sweet. It's not
And
super
look,
sweet.
and I used the whole pack, and
Well,
it was
Yeah.
hot, so.
It was,
I
yeah.
guess that's the first question. Is it
so now you have to go down and get some on your way home.
because your letter references this number, which tells you this number? And then I'm not. I just.
I would do this.
The last time I was
Okay, so
there,
then,
when they were
so
at
then,
different markets.
there are specific quantities that are called.
I couldn't even, that was too small. I didn't ask.
Okay.
They gonna merge.
Yeah, that's all, yeah. I saw that on you. Let them make, oh, sorry. Let them make the thing. That's right.
I will there should be something that we can read.
Just your landscape contractor did it somehow. I don't know how they did it, but.
Yeah. I understand. And then the curve. So I guess my only thing that I've never run into before. Right, it's like, cause I have, yeah, so like, then I still have $48,000.
If you keep
and it included,
You're saying the only
curb and sidewalk.
And that's what I'm saying is,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, all right.
We still have stuff in the city.
City right away. Well, no, so like the city doesn't have any right away on the court. Right, so like, my point, I guess, is that all of this sidewalk and curb is that I don't want to provide security twice. But I'm not gonna change it. I just don't want, and it's not a huge number, so like, but like, obviously, here, if you just say that it's moved, maybe I'll write something on it, but
You can give me something and tell me what the plans are, and then it adds up. If it doesn't add up to that, then personally, I'm not sure.
so, it's just so that if it's like, I write.
I'm gonna come in here before you
I like trees that are maybe in I highlight Booth Street, and April next year, I don't want it to go up there, and we're expecting. I don't know, that's really, that's what I want to do, because we can, all right. Right, because, I mean, they're already coming out, I forget when. No, they, whenever, I forget when I think they only have a year, within 6 months. So, oh, we're not supposed to pay. You can just drive by. I told them, and they were like falling over, so I'm like, just stake the dead ones. So at least it doesn't look sloppy. Yeah, right, so they did stake all of the yeah, we were watering a lot. It was like, it was so dry. Yeah, we're trying to keep it clean and everything, and but yeah, we're starting to move in. It's working there. The tenants using the apartment. No, nothing yet. We still got a phone. People talking about nothing yet. It's really just the entire. We have a project we're doing upper Chai. It's under construction right now. And it's 100,000 feet, but it's really because of the so it's really two pieces. Each upper child. And what I'm pointing out is so we're using multiple filters with a similar amount of space.
Margaret was my girl.
There's not a lot of
But I never knew
demand
Margaret's
for
last name.
that
All I
window.
know
Yeah, we can do like because we have the 3 storefronts. Like we have a big middle one if anybody wanted the whole thing. And we have like 2 little guys on the side. So, but the way that it breaks with doors and column lines is kind of like 32-ish. It's kind of a piece. I mean, but it's weird because we have that loop. You know how it's like. I mean, which is nice from like aesthetic perspective, because when there could be 24 tractor trailers in there, and you would never see them going around the corner. But it's just, it makes for like a lot of weird space. But all right, I understand what you understand.
After you do it. All right, Miss Kim. Kim. Not y'all.
done willed to many a people. It's time for me to be willed.
No, but, so what would be, that's the end of the month?
Say the what?
It would just be 2 weeks. It's not, that's what I was saying. Thank you.
Okay, let me know, Shirley. Shirley, let me know. Good night. Thank you, Ron, for that.
Yeah, congratulations. Thank you.
On what, one I'm talking about? We know it's gonna be. We know. We know. Women also I'm going to. You're talking about. You're talking about the stuff that is leaking.
Exactly.
That's because of changes, but we know what he has in court for the other one, from behind. That's gonna be gone there. Rocks, different stones, rocks, and it does change, per the season.
Right, and I'll email it. So my thought is do
Mulch? I ain't seen none. Well, he doesn't have any there. Yeah, it doesn't have any of the other one either.
But that's gonna be, get out. That's what we discussed. Our home. Moss there. That one won't take it, that one won't take it, the moss. That moss over there. We took the trigger.
So
That stuff stinks.
the thought is, do we have to
Once you get out,
use it?
it stinks. You're right next to the pond. So that's why I was just saying, like, that
Or is this, this is continuing to
what the, so, look at the trucks.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, we haven't had that on the other one either.
Greg's gonna shoot me to have the new plans or to get, and then have a report in that time.
And I'm on,
I'm just, like I said, I'm just, you gotta start, you call these landscapers, you gotta ask, because, okay, people ain't thinking, Jake's, may not Jake on, there's Jake's plan on it, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
I will get it. Oh, no, yeah, for reporting, yes.
check it out.
No, I'm
You
saying
can come to council. Okay, so
You
yeah,
see
she's
what?
moving out.
So that's how you say it.
The cab is where you sit. But the front is just the front, the engine, you talking about the,
Yes, yes.
so the whole, police. They park on the street? Yeah, that's police. I know I passed Leo's, two Leo's comes here, I was asking about. Yeah, but I put that in, when you text me in March, I put that in. We got a different chief now, we got a different chief, we got a different, you know, that won't be there anymore. They ain't look at that as, no, that, I understand what you're saying, I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it with my own eyes.
yes. Did you talk to them? Yeah, they cool. They work. They should be. Well, that should be enough. And then he said we doing Hoagies over there also. I just gotta sit down with him today. Yeah. Called him about the suit or something. He's off today.
Are we still recording?
I've been here,
Are y'all?
Yeah, I think so. I'm texting Justin now.
Snow. I need you to call the guy. Aston. Aston? Oh, Aston? Yep. I need you, yeah, I need you to call him. It will be a charge again. See what you get. Well, find out both, find out the price. Because they charge again.
It's because it's on either side.
Okay.
But either way,
I don't like that. They say, yeah, when Candy come up here, no, won't be me. Not me, I don't do that. This is Joy, where is it? Here it is. Candy.
Video.
Bill, if you wanna come down.
Here I go. No, well, no, no. Yeah, we can do that. And then, like I said, we.
That's why I didn't put a number on there, we just.
Yeah, or you can just do a video. Or you can do a video. Just do a video. And no, you got it. Yep. That is right.
The MRI shows that too. I should have had last summer, 2023. Finally got a different one, so guy, he said, you don't have an MRI?
Somebody else just told me the same thing.
I don't know why I kept saying, should
Somebody
have an MRI?
else said the same thing. He said their doctor hadn't given it to him. He switched doctors and then the new doctor gave it to him. And he's here a tear. Why just told me the same thing?
Well, you ain't getting answers, you gotta switch up. Like, you paying them, they ain't paying you, so I.
Why just told me like this week? That's a crazy work.
And not only is there a tear, there's a fracture like the tear, so, he said he can remove that, so I have to have, all the stuff. New surgery, they done gave me crutches to use for the, procedure for 2 days, crutches for 2 days, cane for 2 days. And then that should be it. But it's in and out of the same day, procedure. Well, we mad, 'cause I said, I could've did this, I probably wouldn't have had this fragment if it had been taken care of back in 2023. So. Have you talked to Dan? Did you talk to him after me?
No.
My text? Okay. I don't know if it's, you know, he can be a little sensitive. Yeah, like I don't know if he would've got bothered by me saying something about Mr. Hate Women preacher.
You go down?
These speakers are, these mics are still on. I hope the recording will stop.
Yeah, that's fine. The zoning is still